We've now moved on to my pet subject. I've been championing this technique for as long as I've known how to shoot. It costs you not 1 penny. It'll have the greatest effect on your shooting of pretty much anything that you can do technique-wise. And virtually no one outside professional sport does it. And it's got an amusing title as well. It's called follow-through. Every sporting action, from snooker, football, golf, they don't stop with the contact on the ball. They follow through to keep everything smooth and pure. That's so important to them. This is even more important to us, because like the trigger technique, lack of follow-through can ruin everything. But it's even more insidious than that, because you don't know you've done it. You really don't know, because the last thing you saw was a perfect sight picture and a target ready to go down. And you think you've done everything right, and the gods of shooting hate you because it didn't work. Well, it didn't work because you don't understand follow-through, and now you're going to, all right? Your trigger technique is brilliant. It's way ahead of where I thought it would be.
Okay.
It's brilliant.
Thank you.
I want you to think of yourself now. I know you've been an exotic dancer or whatever it was you told me you were, but and you're probably brilliant
Salsa,
at it.
darling, salsa.
I want you to now think of you being a postman, all right?
Okay.
A postman's job doesn't stop at the gate, okay? He has to deliver the letters, preferably through the mailbox or whatever. Your job doesn't stop when you release the shot.
Right.
You're like the postman, you're in the delivery game.
Okay.
Your job stops when that pellet has reached its destination, right? So I want you to stay on duty, and this is what follow-through is about. If you think it's over once that shot leaves, your body and brain will say, as soon as that she releases that trigger, she'll lift her head
Yes.
to see what you've done. This is a fundamental part of life. You see all your results in life with your eyes, like we all do. If somebody says, oh, look at that interesting thing over there, you do that. Okay, you lift your head and you see. By lifting your head away from that sight, while that pellet is still on board, okay, because it doesn't disappear instantly.
Yeah.
It's still under your control all the time it's along the barrel, and just after, when the air blast is following it. If you lift your head, your brain will tell your body to start tensioning your neck and your hands for movement. It'll say, prepare to move, and it will, and you won't even know it's going on. What you do, and here's where we bring your excellent trigger technique into it, you watch through that scope, which will give you a better view anyway. Remember, it's 10 times on beautifully clear optics. You watch through that scope until you see the result of the shot. You see the pellet land or miss or whatever.
Yeah.
And the way to keep yourself doing that is to do what you already do.
Yeah.
Keep the trigger back.
Got it.
So the sequence is, the trigger comes back.
Yeah.
You don't touch that trigger to let it go forward until you see the pellet land.
Got it.
And the way to see the pellet land is through there. And if you've maintained perfect aim and perfect contact, every position, not just on a bench or sitting, every single position, if you maintain perfect aim all the time the pellet is under your control, then the shooting sequence finishes.
Okay.
All right?
Wonderful.
Does that make glorious sense to you?
It does. It does
should
indeed, yeah.
Right, we're going to practice that now.
Okay.
So, what you're going to do is when you squeeze that shot, I want you to stay behind the scope. I mean, you can do a 1 Mississippi or whatever, but keep that trigger back. Don't give yourself permission to let that trigger go until you have assessed the shot. Okay? So you're going to stay on duty, because if you move, or you're even prepared to move, then that shot could be ruined. You could introduce a tiny amount of movement. Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect. Now we let the trigger go and we've done the shot.
Wonderful.
Now, in practice, the 5 seconds I told you about earlier incorporates all that as well.
Okay.
There's a ton of stuff in 5 seconds.
Yeah.
A ton of stuff, but it's all necessary, because the only influence you can have on this is how you point it and how you release it and where it is when you release it. You can't think it through. You can't dissuade it from doing anything. It's a machine. So what I want you to get into is a routine that your body says she won't lift her head until that finger goes.
Yeah.
So now it won't start preparing your neck muscles to lift. So it's a
Got
different...
it.
You have got it, haven't you? I
Yeah.
can tell you've got it.
Yeah. No,
It's ever so simple, but no one does it because they're so keen to see if they've done okay.
It's true, yeah. And,
They're so
and actually,
keen.
it's funny that you say that because for me, it transfers over to the shotgun as well, which one of my bad habits is raising my head.
Yeah.
So when I'm missing a bird, I tend to know it's because I'm raised because I'm excited and
Yeah.
I'm looking at the bird rather than focusing on. So
you end
yeah.
up incorporating the raise into your trigger technique,
Yeah.
but generally people don't know they're doing it, and they're
Okay.
so mystified as to why
Yeah.
someone else can take their rifle and shoot,
Yeah.
and they take the same rifle and they can't do it because they're ruining everything at the last, literally the last microsecond of it.
Okay.
So we'll go again,
doing it
cock
again?
that again. And same thing. So don't forget, we're authorising the raising of the eye when the trigger has been released and the shot has landed. You've delivered it. You've done your postman's job. Rather good, that. That's rather good. Do you know how far that target is?
No?
That's 42 yards away, that target.
Perfect. Beautiful.
It was beautiful.
I think that's the furthest I've hit a target with an air rifle.
Yeah, well, just when we finish this, we'll do some 55-yarders for you, but you're perfectly
And
good.
some 75?
Oh, and some 75, she wants now.
Please.
Yeah, please, some 75. Thank you for the diamond ring. Can I have a bracelet and a necklace?
And some earrings.
Right, so what is follow-through then? What is that about? What does it do?
So for me, the way you've explained it and the way it feels, it's actually just given me more control and steadiness.
Yeah.
So it's keeping me calm. And actually, if I'm thinking about game, if that were live game, rather than trying to follow something, let's say, for instance, I'd misplaced the shot and then needed to do a follow-up shot, it's no good lifting my head and going, oh crap, I need to, you need to stay, wait and see what happens and then go, okay, yeah, I need to do another shot, reload. And so, yeah, it just kind of, it steadies everything, it calms me, focuses me, and which I think is what you need. It's what I need.
It's
I need
exactly what you
to
need.
rein in the excitement.
Yeah.
And focus on the job at hand, really.
All you need to do is channel that excitement. Keep it. Don't do anything negative with it. But always remember, that'll give you a better view anyway.
Yeah.
You're desperate to see what's going on.
Yeah.
But that will show you.
see
That's
it,
gathering
yeah.
in more light than your eyes anyway.
Yeah.
So that's follow through. It's an amazingly important thing. And if I could give the gift of technique to one technique, it would be that.
Yeah.
Because everything comes off that.
Yeah.
And it's like it's some mysterious sort of thing that we instructors insist on. It isn't. It's purely practical and sensible, and it has physical properties that affect your shooting. So well done. You picked that up. All you've got to do now is incorporate everything into 5 seconds. You can do it.
We'll give it a go.
Good girl.